How you doing?
Good.
Good, yeah.
So I want to begin by saying I'm a big fan of your work.
Oh, appreciate it, man.
And
Thank you.
You are at the center at a lot of my bickering with my wife because
Oh, no.
I'm when I'm cooking, I sing "Dirt Road, Cold Beer," and she's like, "You're doing it again. Stop it, please."
That's great.
So-
Okay, good. I'm glad that's what the problem's about. I thought it was like she had a fundamental problem with what I did. That's great. That's awesome.
But I love this movie.
Oh, appreciate it. What did you see last night?
I did.
Oh, yes. Cool.
So it's one of those immersive movies where I connect with, because like you, what you said last night, what you said very eloquently about how you're at the age where you're the bridge between being a kid and an adult/parent. And even though I have a 7-month-old, I'm still not at that point where I know I'm raising a teenage son or daughter. But
boy or girl is boy?
It's a boy.
Boy, yeah.
Yeah. So, but there's a million things I want to ask you, but I want to begin with something that what I try to do with these interviews is to have an organic dialogue and conversation. And I feel like you do a very good job of doing that in this film. And so I want to know like how you were able to arrive at that, where you wanted to take a more authentic approach, and because a lot of people would probably take it in a big direction. I've seen a lot of coming of age movies where they shoot it up and there's things that happen in the plot.
Yeah, especially and especially with the internet. I mean, I think the thing was I wanted realistically for nothing to happen to her that couldn't really happen to her. And also, that the experience of being an 8th grader, is that everything feels like life and death. And it's sort of in books aimed at that age and everything aimed at that age, like Harry Potter and all this stuff.
Yeah.
The belief is that it's escapism for the kids. I actually think it's not. I think it's not escapism. It feels realistic to them. Them walking over to talk to somebody you have a crush on feels like walking over to slay the basilisk. You know what I mean? So it feels real to them. That's why kids' stories are so fantastical, because the feelings they have are so fantastical. And the thing was, can we make a movie that creates those feelings with what she's actually going through, which is not much. What do? You go to a pool party, you meet someone, you go to the mall. Nothing really happens. But if we can sync the audience's heart rate with hers, we'll have achieved that. And then as far as engaging with the internet and things, I cringe, or I what's the word? I flinch at any story that is instructive or good word, pedagogical about the internet. Anything that's trying to teach me something. I just don't think anyone's I'm saying I know the internet pretty well. I think as good as anyone can, really. And I have no solid ground to stand on and make statements about it. So for us, it was just, rather than, because the current moment is so dizzying and strange, rather than make a statement in the moment, let's take inventory of what's happening emotionally to us, and then that allows hopefully the audience to engage with it. Because we're not going like, this girl should put down her phone and screw the internet. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's just like, this is what's happening. This is what she's feeling. This is the way her mind sort of spins out because of these things. And then at the end going, and we hope she's okay, and we hope she can find some strength in it. And maybe she's lying to herself. Is it bad? Maybe we need to lie to ourselves. Who knows? But the movie hopefully is an expression of a confusion that we can share with people, rather than a definitive statement in the moment. Which, if you try to definitively state this moment, you'll nail down it. It's gone. We're on to the next one before you even get there. So yeah. Is that it?
Well, I thought the moderator put it pretty well, was saying like, for him this was a horror film in a lot of ways, and I felt that in fear of my son growing up in, I don't know what the age,
that'll be a whole different
like.
thing. Yeah, exactly.
And so it's interesting because I remember Greta Gerwig in an interview saying that part of the reason why she put Lady Bird in 2003 was because that she didn't think that she could make cell phones and technology interesting. But I feel like you did pull that off.
Yeah, I mean, I live with it. But she was also that age then, you know, it's a personal thing.
Personal reason.
And I'm sure she could have. But yeah, I mean, it was a real challenge for us and something we were doing very early. I mean, you know, way before this movie was greenlit or happening, I was with my DP, you know, just shooting tests of screens and can we do this? Because it's incredibly cinematic to me. Like, why is Barry Lyndon writing a letter by candlelight cinematic and a girl on her phone not cinematic? To me, it's incredible. It's that the letter and the light source have fused, you know? And it's this weird inverse thing, too, where it used to be, candlelight, moonlight, so orange glow personally made artificially, and then the natural thing is the blue glow out the window. And it's sort of the inverse in ours, where it's the artificial thing is the blue glow and the computer, and the organic, even though it's not, feels more like the warm light from the hallway where Dad is. That sort of, we were interested in that, the difference between the texture of the light of your phone and the texture of, you know, the light at the dinner table or the sun or whatever. And screens just look gorgeous if you can. I think they look really gorgeous if you can shoot them correctly. And
broken and all.
Yeah, that cracked phone. Yeah, I mean, that's one of my favorite images in the movie. I just think I like that image of a cracked phone. Just looks so nice. I mean, I'm saying not even symbolically, whatever. I don't care about that. It's like I just think I think they look cool. But yeah, it was a real struggle, and all of the internet was practical. You know, it was real because I said we cannot do screen replacements. Like no screen replacements. I think they always look bad, and even if they don't look bad. The ambient light that comes off of the phone, you can tell it's not real. Because when you're scrolling through something, the light changes on your thumb and on your face, you know. So we had to make real Instagram accounts. We were really messaging her in real time. It was like Erica, the props, like stressing out, pulling her hair out, like on the other side of the bed, DMing her in real time. And we had to like change the clocks on the things. It was a real hassle. You did well, though. With
Thank you.
And I think it was like a scene partner for her, the internet.
Yeah.
So it felt like to not have the actual internet for her to interact with would have been like, you know, the tennis ball when they make Lord of the Rings or something. Like, you know, we wanted to actually go on the internet. Yeah. You know.
The one diary entry that I related to the most was number 3 with confidence, because I remember a couple of years, I've done South by, this is probably my 6th year, but the first year I remember sitting down with like a big filmmaker and then being nervous naturally. And so, but I have trouble speaking. Like things in my brain don't come, you know, it doesn't come out as fast, or it doesn't come out as fast as I'm thinking. And so do you remember that moment where you took a leap of faith to build up your confidence? Because like for her, she does karaoke and things like that. But do you remember that moment for yourself?
Do you have one?
I don't know. I'm still really unconfident.
No, but going to the audition.
Yeah. Although
you weren't auditioning for a while, right?
Well, yeah. The only I'm being completely honest here. One of the only reasons I went was because I'm like, oh my god, it's Bo Burnham. I'm not even lying. I don't know though. That's a good question.
Every day, sort of, a little.
Yeah, a little. I don't have one big moment. Just going through life. You know?
That was every single day on tour. You know, when I toured, every single day. You know, I had panic attacks on stage, live on stage in front of 3,000 people. You know.
Well, you cover it very well.
And I quit because of it. You know. Every single day before I walked out, it was that. It was every day backstage. I would have my stage manager slap me as hard as he could on my back before I would go on stage because I was like, couldn't feel my hands. And so, yeah, it's a constant moment-to-moment thing. And talking about it is what gives me the confidence to do it. You know, I can go up and go, oh, what if I botch this intro and I'm really nervous? Well, the movie's about being nervous, so it'll be on point. But I'm glad you say that. That's my favorite one, too, now at least. It's like...
Aside from the last one.
It just... Because, like, I hope... And I'm glad you connected to it personally because I want people to do it. You know, I don't want... You know, what can I want? Who cares? Saying my hopes is that people aren't just looking, oh, this is a 13-year-old. Oh, I can imagine my daughter. Can I imagine my younger sister, myself? I want people to think of, like, if you're really honest with yourself, I think you feel this now, right? Like, are we all really nervous right now? Don't we all, like, not know how to be ourselves or put ourselves out there or be confident, you know?
That's like the great thing about Kayla is because her thing, how she goes about life is really easily definable, and she's kind of, it's like a blank slate, really. And it's kind of, it might be like easier portrayed this way, maybe. I mean, I'm not sure, but I think it works out really well that way. Because people have a really deep, not nostalgia really, but they know that they went through this. And yeah, feeling it now.
But they don't remember everything. You know, they don't remember the walk from the car to the front door. You know, they remember little tentpole moments. I remember to do real time.
Yeah, like I remember stacking the markers.
Exactly.
In those little moments,
images.
In those little moments, but I don't know how it is for you in films, but most of I bottle up a lot of my emotions, and when I think back on it, I think about those big moments that you're talking about, and so, like what you were just saying, when I was watching the film, I was recalling a lot of those moments, that anxiety that I had going through school. And
it all starts then in some way, I think. You know, people always say, "Oh man, I wish I could be a kid again with no stress and no job." It's like, not true. You had a lot of stress then. You know, you just didn't have a job. But it's actually much easier to put stress into a job, into rent, because you have some semblance of freedom, as opposed to stress when you are being driven by a parent and you're sitting shotgun. You have no real autonomy or money or anything, and your stress is grounded in like the opinions of children, which is like the only thing less reliable than the job market or something, you know. So I think you forget just how high a capacity to feel you had back then, and how high the stakes were for you. Of course, now you can look back and go, "Man, I wish I was a kid again." No, you wish you were a kid again with your adult sense of perspective.
Exactly.
But I really wanted to not have an adult sense of perspective then. Because I was feeling her feelings in a sort of surreally high stakes world. You know what I mean? Dealing with my own anxiety, trying to look it up online to go how to deal with this. And the first two things were, well, don't worry, no one really cares, but no one's looking at you like you think they do. And I'm going, well, I'm performing in front of 3,000 people. They are. Like none of the online help for me was, but it was the belief that having a panic attack backstage at the Paramount Theater, you know, right down the street, is no different than having one in the bathroom before going out to a pool party. You know, it's the same thing. And that was the other thing too. Hopefully, in this time where we're kind of separating each other's experiences, the belief that we have what I hope is true, and I don't really want to live if this isn't true. That the large feelings are common to everyone, and everyone can experience them. And of course, everyone has different circumstances. And of course, I'm a man and can't really understand what it's like to be a 13-year-old girl. But the things of fear and love and hope and pain are shared, and hopefully we can see each other in each other. We can see ourselves in each other through those feelings. I feel like her. You know, I don't. Literally, I feel like we're wired similarly, and so I hope it doesn't feel like, you know, I want men to see this movie and not just relate to the dad and the boys. I want them to relate to her personally. I've related incredibly personally to movies about women.
Well, the universality comes through the specificity of
Exactly.
I like I said, I have a lot of things to talk to you guys about, but I appreciate your time so much.
Well, we appreciate it, man. Thanks for being so thoughtful.